Talk to me about client Steph. So coming into the industry, working with more and more different types of people, working with our clients, with your own clients, maybe if you can share some ideas or some information around as a coach, like what it's like to work with different types of people and what to expect maybe.
Yeah, I think going back to communication, you need to be able to communicate with your clients, not just treat them like they're an athlete, actually treat them as a person and get to understand their thought process and the way they sort of operate in terms of recovery or their views on training. And I think that's really important. I think if you can build a good relationship with your clients, they're more likely to adhere to your program. They're more likely to enjoy the program. I think client input is everything. I think it's one thing to give out a program, but it's another thing for your client to understand what's going on, why they're doing that program, and to actually, enjoy it in some aspect as well. So I've been very fortunate to coach many athletes that have come through Oxidate, and not only just to coach them, but to build relationships with them, build friendships with them, meet different people, see the way different people move. That's a huge one. Not everyone moves the same, and one cue might not work for another person. So thinking on the fly and being creative is something that you really, really need. You can deliver the best program, but I think programs always chop and change. That's one thing that I've learnt coaching. And when clients walk in to a gym facility, they are not always pumped. They're not always ready to go. They have other stuff going on in their life. It's, I guess, up to you as a coach to identify that as well, and adjust programs accordingly, or take time to talk to your client. I think that's really important as well. Not just here's what's on the board, do your thing. If you need me, I'm here. It's, always be around, always watch your clients, always ask questions, always pay attention. I think that's
absolutely
huge. Yeah.
I think something that we do, as in you and I, in terms of when we're coaching here at Oxidate, is one program. Yes, it's on the board, but you've got 12 people in here, and such and such walks in, they've had a bad day. Somebody else has had a really good day. Someone's feeling optimum, someone's feeling less than optimum. How do you differentiate between those two people? And it comes down to a bit of a theme that I think you've described a few times here. It's the science versus the art, or the art versus the science. And it's not one size fits all. And as a coach, the biggest tip, and hopefully I've shared this with you about the toolbox, you've got to have your own toolbox as a coach. And in that toolbox is all of your varieties or different systems to put in place. Now, if we're a sports performance coach and we go out to a club or a team, you get a small window of opportunity to make change or to actually coach or to implement. You might prepare a whole training session and you get told you've got 10 minutes. Or you might build training programs of an area of 20 by 20 meters and you get told you've got 5 meters. So again, going back to the toolbox, having option 1, A, B, C, D, option 2, A, B, C, D, and having all of this skill set of adaptability to fit any moment at any time or any client, I think is the key of coaching. Because every time you walk in here to coach at the gym, or you walk out there onto a field to coach, it's going to be different. And if you're not prepared, that's when you sink or swim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any questions, Steph, that you wanted to ask? And have you got any notes that you prepared for any of this stuff?
No. Well, or I suppose being on the other side of the intern, so you as a coach, what are things that I suppose you have learnt along the way?
Heaps. Look, I do not have all of the answers, and I never ever will, and I don't ever want to. I'm always so open-minded. Well, I like to hope and think I'm so open-minded to new ideas, to learning. Like I love learning, especially the practical kind. I'm not much of a book smart person. I do read, I do study books, I listen to podcasts and all that type of stuff, but more of an in-person thing. So being able to actually study a person, for example, an intern or another coach or another educator, for me is massive. So the way that Steph presents her coaching session, the way that Steph delivers her cues, the way that Steph actually interacts with the clients, like I'm forever learning from Steph because, we're two very different coaches, but we have similar interests and philosophies. So as a coach, bringing an intern on, just for me, learning how to communicate. And I know I'm sometimes not the best at communicating, Steph, but I try and learn and try and do the best that I can. I always try and treat a situation how I would like to be treated or how I'd like to be spoken to, or the information that I'd like to receive, if that makes sense. So I hope it's been okay so far. Just opportunities, really. So giving you as many opportunities as possible has been my biggest goal for you. Yeah, don't know if that answered your question or not. We might have to cut that bit out.
And having you had your sort of business background with exercise science. You completed the exercise science, and it was a business management degree.
Sports coaching. I did in 2010. I did a diploma of sports development, and that mildly touched on some business stuff. The sports coaching course did as well. Like it gives you, I can't think of some of the modules, but there was 2 good modules that we actually studied that, told us about appropriate email address, business names, what to do next, that type of stuff. So it gave me a little bit of insight, but the rest is I've had to use like mentors. I'm very fortunate that our mum's a successful businesswoman. So I try and ask a lot of questions from her and try and borrow as much, experience as possible. Podcasts, other coaches. I've got a lot of friends who have been in the industry for at least 10 years. Strength and conditioning coaches, personal trainers, gym owners, that type of stuff. So it's just really persevering and trying to level up, I guess, trying to learn and gain experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I suppose when you are in uni doing your exercise science degree, there is no business subject. So when you come out of that and you decide you want to coach for, maybe you want to start off at a gym, at a 24-hour sort of gym where you're a subcontractor or you're sort of renting or whatever it may be, you've got to learn how to advertise, how to get clients, how to bring clients in, how to do everything really in a sort of the business side of things, and that doesn't really get taught at uni at all.
No. And again, this morning's chat, we had a discussion about where we both started and stuff. I started as a personal trainer as well. If there are sports coaches, that want to own a facility, I highly recommend that you do. You have to work in a gym. Go and work for somebody else where there's no overheads, there's no real obligations besides opportunity and learning, because it's going to teach you very quickly, what you like and dislike, and it's going to give you a free opportunity to learn that. Because if you are working on a gym floor, it is sales. Every conversation you have is a sales point. You're either getting someone to buy into the program or to your cues, or or selling them whatever. So I think it's crucial. Sales, communicating with people. Sports coaches are front of house, back of house, counselors, mentors, friends, educators. It's a long list that comes into sports coaching because we're working with people.
Yeah, definitely. I'm finding that, the past couple of years, a lot of my upskill and courses that I was applying to was, all sort of educational based on coaching specifically. And now what I'm finding is I'm going more towards learning more about business communication. So the stuff that isn't taught at uni.
And if I could go back, if I wind the clock back 5 years ago, I jumped in. I was doing an internship as well. And the reason I started Oxidate was the internship I was doing, no disrespect, wasn't good enough. And it wasn't that particular club's fault or that particular person's fault. It just falls back to the education. We only know what we know. And until people start to do things differently or learn more or, it's not going to improve. So I didn't get what I would have hoped for. And I thought, maybe it was a bit egotistic. I thought, you know what, I can do this better or differently. And I just dove straight, head first straight into this business. And I'm still making it up as we go. Like, I don't really have any business qualifications. So again, to people listening, probably study some form of, of business thing. But yeah, it's what it is.